Let's do it.
I love it. It's so good to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I'm looking forward to getting into your work, your mission. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, before we get into your work and what you're doing for the military community and veterans, I want to know this. 5 years ago, the pandemic was changing all of our lives, and I know it did a particular deed on certain segments of our population, like military veterans. How did you get through that time period, and how has it shaped the way that you approach your work and life today?
So 5 years ago, this was 2020,
Yeah.
we were moving into a new campus and a nice 9,000, 10,000 square foot space. And we got ready to host our first 56 students out of military service members who were coming in with wet tech, which was a training dollars that uh, Department of VA provides. We were one of the training schools. Little did we know that those 56 students, after they graduate, we're not going to see them again, right? Because of COVID, right? And we had to quickly transition from being an in-person six classrooms space to being all remote. And I think that changed a lot of our perspectives on how are we going to serve? Do they have right equipment? Uh, do they have a space to sit and learn? And we take a lot of pride in having a school on campus. So we had to figure out how we're going to serve them. A lot of them were also active duty, still at the bases. And imagine them sitting at a table. They don't have a second monitor. Right here at the campus, you have a second monitor. And not only do you need a second monitor, you also need a space for them to write and take notes. So there was a whole lot of learning for us in 2020 to serve, and we learned on the job of getting books to the bases. We actually started shipping books to bases, making sure they had access to the internet, and making sure they had access to more than a mobile device. It was not easy. So serving was harder, but it also made us better because we digital transformation, the work I keep talking about, it came in early. It came in fast. We had to really adapt and adapt faster. And COVID, for what it's worth, forced us to change and change fast. But now we are implementing the hybrid models. It's very hard for a person to return back to campus because they have seen the benefits of staying home and learning. So we have a completely different problem 5 years later. That it's hard to bring a student back to campus. So they want to stay home. Things have changed. It's gotten expensive, right? Things have gotten expensive. And how do you serve a person that now needs to go on a road 2 hours, get to campus because people have moved out of city. Getting back into city and getting to campus has been harder. So I would say, every year has been a learning moment. This year has been a different kind of learning moment, serving the same service member coming out of military. Now we are thinking about, hey, government shut down. How do you take care of them?
Yeah.
And just about a week ago, I was another podcast host member. This was getting on the call. They asked me a question about, hey, we have a veteran crisis line, and you do a lot of work in AI. And I showed them a couple of things, and they said, can we use the tool you're building to help a veteran in crisis call in and get AI to support them through the process, right? Because there's nobody manning a veteran crisis line on the other side. So I'll tell you, Joe, it's every year has been different. We learned a lot, and I think we are going through a similar change again, thanks to AI coming in and inflection points and things getting a little expensive.
So let's get into the heart and soul of the work that you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds in a school. It's career day, and one of the kids wants to know what you do for a living. How do you answer them?
Oh, they are the fun times. Every 12-year-old should be thinking about how do I get to space, right? Hey, how do I get to Mars? How do I go to moon? And there are such wonderful times we live in where technology is here. We are at a wonderful inflection point with autonomous vehicles and robots and artificial intelligence, the inflection point of many technologies coming together at the same time, right? You can dream and you can dream big, and those things are going to come to life in their lifetime over the next 20 years. Those are going to come to life. If you think about space, you're thinking about SpaceX, and you're thinking about car, you're thinking about Tesla. I'm not promoting either one of them, but I want them to think, where can it take them, right? And the opportunity to be there in the world of science and taking advantage of the tools that are staring at them. They may not be using Chat GPT, but they may be on Insta and a TikTok, and they're using their parents' uh, I don't know, no internet access, the Wi-Fi access to do some, I don't know, play games. Everybody comes and says, "Don't play games, guys. You got to get a hobby. Go to work or go play outside." So there's a benefits, and I'll tell you talk about this in a second, which is a lot of the AI that I've spent time working on, artificial intelligence and building new courses and building new labs and new infrastructure for my service members and veterans. He said, look, think about it. If you had access to those about 5 years ago, what would you do? Right? And they would say, oh, I would have done this. Exactly. For a 12-year-old right now, that's a moment that they are living in. They can apply, imagine, think big, play a game, and the data coming out of these games is used to build out your autonomous robots. Just the other day, there's a launch of a robot called a Neo, Neo, right? And it does all the work for you, right? It does the chores, it does your laundry, it does your dishes, it does all that stuff. It's of course it costs $20,000, and their price point is about $500 a month, right? It's a little less than a car, but it's coming to our lives near us. Near, how would a young kid coming out of school play with a robot or fine tune a robot to do certain things? World is our oyster, Joe. I think there's so much to do, so much fun stuff to do. I wish I was a 12-year-old right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a time to be alive. So let me ask you this. Take me back to where you were born and raised, and how did these seeds get planted into you to help the community, to be that beacon of light? How did this happen?
Uh, I'm from India, all right? I'm from India, and I came to school in the United States in 1991, August, right? That was a little over 34 years ago. And I went to Oklahoma, University of Central Oklahoma, and I did my MBA with Computer Information Systems at University of Central Oklahoma. And I graduated from it, and just like everybody else, I worked through my school, worked at McDonald's and Whataburger and Taco Bell and services on campus, and I did all that. And after I graduated, I got a job at MCI and MCI Verizon. I don't know if anybody remembers. People remember Verizon, but not many people remember MCI.
Yeah.
MCI got acquired by Verizon, and then from there, after I moved to Microsoft about 2001, worked there 14 years, and progressively I climbed the ladder. Became a director for strategy and innovation, and ran a team of 15, 20 practice managers as part of developer support. And all that led me to a point in 2014 when a new CEO came in. There were a lot of layoffs. I got laid off. And they were generous enough to give me a severance. And I took that severance and started a school, right? And I did not know who I was going to serve and how I'm going to do. All I needed to was to just stay tall, work through the process, and make sure I'm delivering training like I'm doing now. Started out with 2 students. And by 2017, we were working with Dallas College System. We are delivering the corporate training through grant process. You got to be in the system for at least a couple of years before you get invited to the party. And the party is now you can serve workforce centers, you can get a GI Bill, you can serve military. So to answer your question, I don't think I started out thinking I'm going to serve.
Yeah.
I was literally trying to survive, right? I got laid off. I need to start something. I need to live. And the more I spent time bringing in my experience into the fold, the more I realized there's more to give, right? The background, experience, people can benefit from it. And by 2019, we were doing over 50 or 60 students per year. By the time you get to 2020, we were doing 110. By the time we got to 2021, 22, we were doing over 300 students per year, right? And that all happened because of one thing alone, right? We wanted to be in the realm, in the industry, serving people with cybersecurity training, cloud engineering training, network engineering training, data science and intelligent automation, and said, let's go. But a lot happened
Yeah,
during those 5 years.
for sure. So, who's been your hero? Who's been an inspirational force for you in your life?
My mom and dad still, right? And they've always been there in some form, a steady hand, right? And on your hand on your shoulder to say, look, guys, we are here, right? They're my heroes still. And I always I cannot um, understate the support I've received from family, right? From family as my wife, my son, my daughter, and this investment of time and energy in a business. I don't think I would been able to do that without them. And they're still here supporting me in the next journey as we're evolving to become better at delivering. So mom and dad come first, right? In terms of how I where I am right now. But in a larger heroes, I as a growing up, I did a lot of computers working with MS-DOS systems. Bill Gates. Everything was Bill G. Bill Gates. I looked up to him for every book I read that came out. And there, I wouldn't say hero worship, but there was a guy who looked up to because he was doing something really cool.
Yeah.
Windows on computer on every desktop, every home, um, realizing your full potential. All these buzzwords that you hear from corporate, I actually lived it, right? And so there's that definitely. Uh, family, Bill Gates,
I just listened to his audiobook, Source Code, about his early years, and his grandmother was a card shark, and it was interesting how he started wrapping his early brain around numbers and how all of that, like he studied the way that she did it and he figured it out. That story was fascinating. Even the first time he saw Steve Jobs it was at in the early days, there weren't tech expos and computer
right,
expos
right,
like there are now, but just the way he presented it and just the whole thing. It's fascinating to hear how these tech giants and that early frontier, they were like early settlers. I mean, coming to a new country that was unfounded and they just did it. They just, no matter what, they just figured it out.
right. And that's the dream, right? That's the dream of for anybody coming in. It's just that they say here, you want to make it big because the systems that are given to you. And the story I go back to YouTube listening to or a video of Steve Jobs, and he talks about how he had his neighbor, an older gentleman, and he said, "Look, come on in. I have a garage, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to take a rock and turn the rock into a polished stone." And he says, "Look, anybody that comes in, and it takes a little bit of time, and over a course of time, it becomes a wonderful stone that you can use it for whatever, for decoration purposes." And that's it, right? You come in with a raw idea
Yeah.
and you get resources, and you meet people, and that turns into gold. And that's what US has always been about.
Yeah. So, what is it that gets you up every day to do this work, to help change lives, to grow as a successful businessman, to take care of your soul, your family? What is that collective energy for you every day?
It's a change, right? Change in somebody's face, somebody's life. I have a student that walks in every day at 8:50 p.m. Our classes start at 9 a.m. The guy walks in every day and says a hello, and we have a conversation about Louisiana. And here I'm in Texas. He moved from Louisiana, and he and I have a conversation, and he talks about that other day. He said, uh, "Hey, ¿cómo está?" I think it's in Spanish. He said, "Hola," and "Cómo está?" I said, "Look, hey, you're from Louisiana. What about the Spanish thing?" He said, "Shravan, I know culture." Right. And then next thing we are talking about is, hey, we are on a sixth floor and you don't see it. I got my blinds down, but it's a backdrop of large buildings. And what they are looking at is, hey, I'm able to come to a campus, have a conversation with a president, CEO, have a meal with a co-founder. We serve lunches, and I'm in a campus where I'm actually seeing that I do belong here. So building the new identity for them.
Yeah.
We're really giving them the idea of working for a large enterprise, hopefully. At least perception is reality. You're coming in, you're enjoying the process of learning, and you're giving them facilities, equipping them with networks, and then we give them access to this thing called a job machine, opportunities to go find themselves a job and been helping them. over 8 to 12 weeks of time that they spend with us, you see a change. They get confidence. They're able to network. Then they can talk about IT, they can do stuff. And then they land a job that puts a smile on my face, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this effort of, and by the way, our numbers have been yo-yoing a bit, our placement numbers because of job loss recently and AI coming into, or it's been taking large amount of time to get them placed, but we still get them placed. But when they land a job and they tell you, yeah, I'm feeling good about it, right? I've made a transition and I don't have to go back to wherever I'm coming from. I'm happy. I'm making a life and building a home here in this place. Uh, Joe puts a smile on my face, gives me yet another reason to wake up and say, huh, what other AI thing can I do tomorrow?
Yeah. I love it. What was one of the early success stories that really kind of fueled your mission, that made you kind of think, I'm doing the right thing?
I would say the first employment, right? I would say first student. I'm trying to recall who landed a job, but there were a few even before I served military. There were folks that said, "Look, uh, I'm confident," and I landed a job at Databricks, and I landed a job at NVIDIA, and these folks that landed tech jobs even before serving military. And they were 24, 25-year-olds, and now a decade later, they are in good positions, right? CIOs and CTOs, and decade later, 10 years later. And it puts a smile on my face because they are the same students that, I can knock on their door and say, "Hey, I'm doing something. You remember me?" "Of course, boss." And what can I do to help you? And so that particular moment is when I saw my being a role model or a coach or a mentor has built 10 more people out there that are in good positions that are helping others. So almost paid forward, paid forward. Now you have a network of 2,000 students that are ready to go help others. And I think after the 15th or 20th student getting a job, I said, "Yeah, I really love doing this. I want to do more."
So if you had a dream tonight, ran into a, say, 16-year-old version of you, and you had a book of how your life turned out, what you've done, what you've accomplished, what you're doing now, and you gave it to that version of you, would that young version of you believe that this is the way your life turned out?
Impossible. I don't think impossible. I don't think a 16-year-old has so many ideas, right? We're just talking about 12-year-old. We're trying to reimagine. 16-year-old. I mean, all I wanted to do was, how much time am I going to get in front of a computer?
Yeah,
Right? Literally, it does MS-DOS 386 systems to 486 Pentium, I think IBM Pentium stuff that were coming around.
yeah.
And I was literally, when I was living in India, it was very hard to find space and time in the lab time. And I used to stand in front of a lab just to see if anybody leaves, or just grab that computer and spend time. So here I am, right? 30, 16-year-old. I turned 55 on October 25th. Uh, what, close to 39 years ago?
Yeah.
And 39 years ago, I would say I'm I'm I have a North Star. North Star is using technology to make a difference. And I am making a difference. I still see a North Star and I'm moving in that direction. So I have a vision of making a difference in people's life with technology. Technology is changing the very life that I'm living. And the things I built is impacting or influencing what I'm doing tomorrow. And it's coming in at such a fast pace that I'm having to keep up with it. And that journey itself is fruitful, right? I think I'm living it, but I'm not hit the North Star yet.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, of everything that you've done with your life, everything that you've accomplished and evolved to, what are you the proudest of?
I think my kids, my family, and and they that keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
A family keeps me grounded. It's a thing that I'm still here, and they are in front of me, and they are grounded too, along with me, and that keeps me. That energy is internal, right? It's internal energy that and the North Star, the faith, the the family. I think that's I would say that's it.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, everyone in the school, everyone that knows you in all different capacities, but you run the show. What's your
Yes.
perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I'm um, hard on myself. I should let take it a little easy, right? These are the corporate buzzwords and North Stars and missions and visions and objectives and metrics. And I think I just got to be a little easy on myself. I think I've got to be easy on people that work with me. I got to easy on that too, because I'm so driven by the North Star, and I think they get anxious a bit. Are we meeting bosses' goals and objectives? I just gotta chill and I gotta be easy on. I think that's what I would tell myself. But having said that, though, I think the drive is also the reason why people come because they see that we're not stagnant. We're always thinking. We're on our toes. So there's got to be a balance. I think there has to be a balance. I've not figured that out yet.
Well, you're a Libra, so you're going to get there. I'm
Yep.
I'm in the same boat. My birthday was in October on the 13th, so I understand that time, and it is an eternal battle to get to that balance.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So
that's it.
so if anyone wants to get involved, they want to reach out, they have questions, any of the good work you're doing, where's the best place for them to go?
Hello at divergence.one. Hello, HELLO at divergence.one. They're welcome to reach me out on LinkedIn and LinkedIn Sravan Ankaraju, and they'll find me. And I'm easy to accessible, so reach me out on LinkedIn or hello at divergence.one. There's a lot going on. There's a lot
Yep.
going on, and everybody is out there right now in the middle of transition, some form of life change. Reach out to us, and happy to share what we have.
I love it. I'm going to put these links in the show notes. What wonderful work you're doing. This has been an absolute delight. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and keep putting the good work out there. It's very nice.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for the opportunity, and keep doing what you're doing to get the word out there. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you. I
Sure.
appreciate it.